Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video you will learn about compound annual growth rate. So it is basically the growth rate of your investment over a specific period of time. In other words, you can say how much return you have earned on your investment during the given intervals. Now let's try to understand how to calculate returns, absolute return, average returns, then we will move to CAGR. So first, absolute return. Let's take an example of Reliance shares. Suppose you have invested 2000 rupees in a Reliance share 2 years back, okay, and you have purchased one share of Reliance, and the current value of Reliance share is 2500 and the time span is 2 years, okay. So how you can calculate absolute return? First you need profit, and what is the profit? Current value of investment, that is 2500 minus amount invested, right? So in this case profit is 500 rupees and you have to divide it by amount invested, that is 2000 rupees, and you can calculate it in percentage terms. So absolute return will be 25%. And if you see this example, it ignores the effect of time period, that is 2 years, okay. Even if 5 years was there, then also absolute return is 25%. Even if 10 years is there, then also return is 25%, because this is absolute return. It ignores the effect of time period. Now let's try to understand the average return. So for calculating average return, you have to divide absolute return by time period, okay. So in this case 25% is the absolute return and you have to divide it by 2 and you will get the average return, that is 12.5% per annum. But this is also inaccurate because it ignores the effect of compounding. How, we will understand in next slide, but you have to understand the disadvantages of absolute return and average return. In case of absolute return, it ignores the effect of time period, and in case of average return, it considers time period but it ignores the effect of compounding. Now let's try to understand concept of CAGR, that is compounded annual growth rate. As we have discussed absolute return, average return, what are their disadvantages. Now let's try to understand the concept of CAGR. So let's take the same example of Reliance shares. You have invested 2000 in 2 years back and current value of Reliance shares is 2500, so and time span is 2 years, okay. Now what is the formula of CAGR? How we can calculate the compounded annual growth rate? So formula of CAGR is ending balance, that is current value of investment, divided by beginning balance, that is amount invested, that is 2000 in this case, and in power you have to divide 1 by time period, that is 2 in this case, that is 2 years, and minus 1 you have to do. Let's put all the values, then you can understand it better. There is, and you don't have to mug up this formula because there are many calculators are available in many websites. You can search on Google CAGR calculator and there are many options you can get, okay. You just have to enter the time period, amount invested and current value of investment, and you can easily calculate the CAGR. You don't need to mug up this formula unless you are a student or you have to give exams or something, okay. So ending balance, that is current value of investment, is 2500 divided by beginning balance, that is amount invested in beginning, that is 2000 in this case, and in power 1 divided by number of years, that is 2 in this case, and minus 1, and you will get 0.118, but you have to consider it in percentage terms, so you can multiply it by 100, then you will get 11.8%, okay. So this is the rate. Which kind of rate? Compounded annual growth rate. And you can cross verify this 11.8% to, you have to add 11.8% into amount invested, that is 2000. So after 1 year you will get rupees 2236, and you have to add it again 11.8% and you will get 2500 after 2 years, okay. So now you can easily see it will consider compounding too, but in case of average returns there is no consideration of compounding, right? And in case of absolute return there is no consideration of time period, but in CAGR time period and effect of compounding both are there. So this is the most accurate form of return, and you don't need to mug up this formula. You just have to enter CAGR calculator on Google and you will get few websites that provide CAGR calculator, okay. You just have to enter amount invested, current value of investment, time period, and you will get CAGR easily, okay. Unless you are preparing for exam or something, then obviously you have to understand this and mug up this formula very thoroughly.